Today in math we are going to be working with equivalent fractions. Our objective is determining equivalent fractions using models or money. Fractions that refer to the same portion of a group of items or the same part of a whole are called equivalent fractions. So in my own words, I might explain equivalent fractions as the same amount. For number 1, we see the first example. We have one group of our shapes is triangles out of the two groups of shapes altogether. That's where we get this 1/2. And then the next one that we have to solve says 2 out of how many? So when we look back to our drawing, we see there are 2 triangles out of how many shapes altogether? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 shapes altogether. So our denominator is going to be 4. We apply the same thinking to number 2. We have 3 groups, our circles, out of 4 groups of shapes altogether. And then when we look at our next portion, our equivalent fraction, blank of the figures are circles. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 figures are circles out of the 8 total shapes. For number 3, same idea. We have one group is, let's say, squares out of how many groups altogether? Well, we see if we have one group of squares here, then that means we have another group here and another group here. So that gives us 1, 2, 3 groups altogether. So we have one group out of 3 are going to be squares, which is equivalent to 2 squares out of a total of 6 shapes. For the next section, we write the fraction that represents the shaded portion of each rectangle. This should look familiar. So number 4, we have how many pieces altogether? We have 2. That's our denominator. How many are shaded? Only 1. So our fraction is 1/2. For number 5, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 portions altogether. So my denominator is going to be 6. And 1, 2, 3 of those portions are shaded. 3 is going to be my numerator. 3/6 is an equivalent fraction to 1/2. And notice how those pictures look the same. Number 6, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 portions altogether. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those portions are shaded. Now notice a little pattern here. We see 5 is half of 10, 3 is half of 6, 1 is half of 2. All of that is going to be helpful when we are looking for patterns later. Next we have number 7. Each of the rectangles is the same size, and even though they are divided differently, the portion that is shaded is equal to 1/2 of each one. So 3/6 is equal or equivalent to 1/2. This can be verified. What is 6 divided into 2 equal parts? 6 divided by 2 equals 3. There should be 3/6 in each of the parts, so just as I pointed out above. So for number 7, we see that if there are 12 pieces all together here, 4 of those are shaded. That's where we get our 4/12. We then could divide 12 divided into 3 equal parts, and that's going to give us 4. So that's going to say that there are 4/12 in each part, which is right here. But if we want to then take those 12s and divide them into 3 equal parts, 1, 2, 3, then how many of those are going to be shaded? Just 1.
Now we're going to work with U.S. money. Number 8, 9, 10, and 11. 1 nickel is 5 cents, or 5 out of 100 pennies. It's equal to 1/20th of a dollar. It takes 20 nickels to make $1. So 5 1/100ths is equal to 1/20th, is equal to 1 nickel. Number 9, 1 penny. It takes 100 pennies to make $1. So 1 penny equals 1/100th of a U.S. dollar. Move on to number 10, guys. Quarters. We know there's 4 quarters to make $1. 25, 50, 75, $1. 3 quarters would be 25, 50, 75 100ths. 75 100ths would be 3 out of the 4 quarters. So 3/4 of a dollar is 75 cents, which is equal to 75 100ths. It's all equivalent. It all means the same amount. Let's go to dimes. Dimes you'll be good on, guys. 2 dimes equals 20 100ths, or 20 cents. So how many dimes in a dollar? 10. 2 dimes is 20 100ths, or 2 tenths. 20 100ths is equivalent to 2 tenths.